Hey, welcome to STREEZYonX. I'm Streezy, and I'm here to tell you what's trending on X. Steelers were trending this morning because if you remember, I told you the other day that a certain somebody got dropped seemingly out of nowhere, but don't worry, Russell Wilson has found his new home in Pittsburgh. This does have fans speculating the fate of the prior quarterback, Pickett, though. Tell me what you think his destiny will be. Then of course, Jimmy Kimmel trending. After all, he did host the Oscars last night, but there's a few key moments being highlighted. One, the bit where they try to recreate the 70s Oscar streaker moment with Cena. That was a sight to see. Two, Kimmel has a little joke commentary going on with first-time Oscar winner Robert Downey Jr. And you know, the host will sometimes poke fun at the celebrities, but it seemed a little mean-spirited, especially with RDJ finally receiving an Oscar, so it's a special night, but Jimmy just wasn't really delivering the jokes very well. And you could tell because RDJ wasn't even laughing. Actually, the crowd was laughing more at RDJ's reactions than Jimmy's jokes. So there's that, and then of course the last one is a political one. I don't think they could help themselves, but former President Donald Trump made a Truth Social post about the Oscars live during the show, as he does, and Jimmy says at the end of the show, "Oh, I was told I have an extra minute." So they had just enough extra time to go ahead and read this and add it in. So Jimmy reads aloud, "Has there ever been a worse host than Jimmy Kimmel at the Oscars? His opening was that of a less than average person trying too hard to be something which he is not and never can be. Get rid of Kimmel and perhaps replace him with another washed up but cheap ABC talent, George Slopanopoulos. He would make everybody on stage look bigger, stronger, and more glamorous. Also, a really bad politically correct show tonight, and for years. Disjointed, boring, and very unfair. Why don't they just give the Oscars to those who deserve them? Maybe that way their audience and TV ratings will come back from the depths. Make America great again." And so Jimmy closes out with a response, "Thank you for watching. I'm surprised you're still watching. Isn't it past your jail time?" And of course the Hollywood crowd loses it. And then the next trend is a fun little rabbit hole to go down. We've got Kate Middleton, Princess of Wales, wife of Prince William. So if you've been keeping up with your STREEZYonX updates, I let you know back in January that the royal family released an update notifying that Princess Kate was receiving abdominal surgery. It was a planned surgery and they said it was successful, and they also anticipated her being hospitalized for up to 2 weeks to recover. No big deal, right? They seemed optimistic about it, like everything is fine, it's normal. But suspicions are raising as time goes on because Kate hasn't even been seen publicly since Christmas. Now, the palace announced upon her return from her 2-week hospital stay that she would be resting and not returning to any public duties until after March. So we did have a heads up of this and we're still in that window, but what sent people into a frenzy is how they published a photo of her and her children for Britain's Mother's Day, which was March 10th, and the photo is doctored. And that part isn't speculation, that's fact. Now there are some things circled on some posts that I don't really see anything, but the biggest tell is how her daughter's sleeve is erased and so you see her hand jutting out from nowhere. So news outlets have even put out official releases saying not to publish this photo because we know it's edited. And let me just say, as others have pointed this out as well, it is completely normal to Photoshop photos in the sense of trying to get that perfect shot, especially with multiple people, especially with children. So you can have multiple photos of the same shot and maybe everyone looks perfect in one, but one person is blinking and they only look good in this other photo. So you can superimpose the face, and this can be done with other parts of the body as well. The list goes on, etc. What makes it weird is after this caught wind, their response was, supposedly it's Kate that's writing this, saying this. She says she's been dabbling in her photo editing skills lately. And so since she's so new, there's imperfections. But just a couple of discontinuities from the list of many. In this apology, she calls herself an amateur photographer. Like, that's her main hobby, who experiments with editing sometimes. So she's the photo taker, not the editor. But yesterday, when this photo was posted, it was written in the caption that Prince William was the photographer for this photo. So we've already got a couple of odd discrepancies. And yes, it's still very fringe speculation, but you gotta check out this video where it lays it all out, how they're wearing the same outfits from a public outing back in November, but they're just slightly edited enough to look different. And okay, another big one worth mentioning, where's the wedding ring? So you take all of this and you're like, okay, it's a lot to speculate on here. But even if it really was just a beginner Photoshop blunder, people are saying, why not just post the original now? We all know it's edited, let's see if it's a real photo to begin with. Because understand, some people are so far down this rabbit hole, they're assuming Kate is deathly ill, missing, or even already perished, on top of possibly divorced and everything else. And so people are also saying, better yet, post a video of the princess saying something, anything, just to feel like we're getting a real-time update. Because with everyone freaking out about this, they tried to say, okay, we'll put out an update photo to put everyone more at ease, but it's a paparazzi photo of someone turned away in a dark tinted window car, and you can't even see their face, so there's no way we can tell if that's even her. Anyways, that's as much as I'll talk about it now before I get way too deep into it, but I would love to hear your speculations, theories, comments, things you've heard, all of it. Let me know. All right, then we've got Social Security and Medicare trending, where the Biden-Harris campaign X account posting a video montage of former President Donald Trump calling to cut Social Security and Medicare, including him talking on the subject this morning on CNBC's Squawk Box. However, I will say I noticed on every single clip I saw of the CNBC segment that was posted on X, it was cut off right in the middle of Trump talking every time. So I went and watched the full video from CNBC directly, and I'll leave it for you in the thread. And the host asks what Trump's current position on cutting spending and government entitlement programs is. What can be done about it so we aren't in debt to GDP forever? And Trump says there's a lot that can be done about cutting, and there's a lot that can be done about entitlements. And that's where the video usually cuts off, by the way. And then he goes on to say there has been bad management of these entitlements, and that he knows they're going to weaken Social Security because the country has been weakened. And then goes on to talk about inflation, middle class, things he's done under his presidency. Goes on for several minutes, kind of seemed all over the place, but never directly says he wants to or is going to cut these things. At least that's his current opinion that we hear from this today. Listen to the video in the link and tell me what you think about it. Okay, that's all I've got for you today, but stay tuned for more, and I'll see you tomorrow.